Welcome back to Gunners Central, where the focus is firmly on Arsenal's relentless march through a season packed with pressure, expectation and defining moments, and the latest narrative intertwines Leandro Trossard's growing importance, Victor Gyokeres' adaptation to life in North London, the dramatic win over Wolves, so subscribe so you never miss Arsenal updates, the wider implications of the Africa Cup of Nations, and a title race that a supercomputer now believes is tilting decisively in Arsenal's favour. Because Saturday night's 2-1 victory over Wolves at the Emirates Stadium was about far more than 3 points, as it exposed both Arsenal's flaws and their resilience. With Mikel Arteta furious at his side's passive defending in the closing stages, yet quietly encouraged by the impact of certain individuals, none more so than Trossard, whose second-half introduction transformed the rhythm of the game and sent an unmistakable message about how Arsenal can unlock their struggling £64 million striker Gyokeres, a player who arrived in the summer with enormous expectations after tearing up defences elsewhere, but has so far found the Premier League a far sterner examination. And against Wolves, his evening was threatening to drift into frustration once again until Trossard took control of the left flank, demanding the ball, accelerating Arsenal's tempo and injecting creativity into a side that had spent long spells probing a deep, stubborn low block set up by Rob Edwards. Because before that change, Arsenal had laboured, producing little incision, struggling to find runners between the lines, and leaving Gyokeres isolated against centre-backs who were more than happy to engage him physically, without fear of quick service in behind. But the Belgian winger altered that dynamic almost instantly, not by scoring or assisting directly, but by becoming the connective tissue between midfield and attack, sliding clever passes into Miles Lewis-Skelly, combining neatly with Declan Rice on the edge of the area, and most crucially, spotting Gyokeres' movement and delivering the kind of early, sharp ball that a number 9 thrives on, which led to Gyokeres' best moment of the match when he controlled superbly, rolled his defender, and aimed for the far corner only to see his effort flash narrowly wide of Sam Johnstone's post. A moment that summed up his Arsenal story so far, full of promise yet just lacking that final decisive outcome. And Arteta was keen after the game to defend his striker, insisting that the issue is not effort or attitude but cohesion and timing, explaining to TNT Sports that Gyokeres often finds himself in excellent positions without receiving the ball quickly or precisely enough, underlining that goals at this level are the product of collaboration rather than isolation. And this is where Trossard's performance felt like a subtle rebuttal to Arteta's earlier frustration, because it demonstrated that Arsenal do possess the tools internally to help Gyokeres thrive if they are willing to adjust roles and responsibilities, even if that means rethinking the automatic selection of Gabriel Martinelli on the left in certain matches, not as a slight on the Brazilian, but as recognition that different opponents demand different solutions, and Wolves certainly demanded guile rather than pure pace, because despite Arsenal eventually taking the lead through an unfortunate Sam Johnstone own goal in the second half, the match remained precariously balanced, and Arteta's anger was sparked not by Wolves' late equaliser itself, but by the manner in which it arrived, as Arsenal retreated into a deep block and became passive, allowing Tolu Arokodare to head home in the 99th minute from what was only Wolves' third shot of the game, prompting Arteta to describe his side's defensive habits as horrible and unacceptable. A brutally honest assessment that highlighted how thin the margins are even for teams at the top. And yet, in the chaos of stoppage time, Arsenal found a way to respond, with pressure forcing another Wolves' own goal, this time off Yerson Mosquera in the 94th minute, sparing the Emirates a sense of disbelief and restoring Arsenal's advantage at the summit of the table, a result that not only extended their lead but reinforced a recurring theme of this season. That even when Arsenal are below their best, they are finding ways to win, a trait that often separates champions from contenders. And this sense of momentum is further amplified by the wider context of the Africa Cup of Nations, which unusually brings more relief than concern to Arsenal supporters this time around, because for the first time in years, the Gunners will not lose a single senior player to the tournament, following the summer departure of Thomas Partey, meaning Arteta can navigate a congested winter schedule without the disruption that previously saw key figures like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Mohamed Elneny, or Nicolas Pepe depart at critical moments, while rivals across the league are forced to reshuffle, including Everton, Arsenal's upcoming opponents, who will be without Iliman Ndiaye and Idrissa Gueye, and potentially also miss Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall and Jack Grealish through injury, although the broader picture shows how AFCON continues to shape the title race indirectly. With Sunderland losing Noah Siddiqui, Arthur Masuaku, Reynildo Mandava, Bertrand Traoré, Chemsdine Talbi and Habib Diarra at a time when they are scheduled to face Manchester City, who themselves will be missing Omar Marmoush and Ryan Ait-Nouri, though neither has been a consistent starter. And this uneven impact across the league once again fuels debate about AFCON's place in the calendar, a tournament that is often unfairly disrespected despite being a profound honour for those who participate, and whose scheduling has been repeatedly altered due to climate concerns and global tournament congestion, including the expanded FIFA Club World Cup that reportedly pushed AFCON 2025 into the December 2025 and January 2026 window, creating ripple effects that Arsenal appear uniquely positioned to benefit from this season, especially with domestic cup ties against Crystal Palace, who will be without Ismail Assar, and league clashes against Brighton, missing Carlos Baleba, and Aston Villa without Ivan Gassand, all lining up favourably for Arteta's side. And when this situational advantage is combined with Arsenal's on-field results, it is little surprise that data-driven models are beginning to paint a compelling picture, because following the Wolves' victory and Manchester City's emphatic 3-0 win over Crystal Palace, Arsenal sit 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Yet the latest projections from ASOD's supercomputer Betsy suggest that this margin could grow by season's end, with Arsenal forecast to finish on 81 points and given a 67.7% probability of lifting the title, 4 points ahead of Pep Guardiola's City, who are predicted to end on 77 points with just a 28.5% chance of retaining their crown, a scenario that would mark Arsenal's first league triumph since Arsène Wenger's iconic invincible season of 2003/04 and represent a seismic shift in English football's balance of power, particularly given Guardiola's extraordinary record of 6 league titles, 9 domestic cups and a Champions League during his tenure, while the same model predicts a challenging campaign for reigning champions Liverpool, tipped to finish third on 67 points despite heavy summer spending under Arne Slot and continued turbulence at Manchester United, where Ruben Amorim's side are projected to finish 5th and miss out on automatic Champions League qualification. A far cry from expectations, and yet another reminder of how unforgiving this league can be. And crucially, Betsy's methodology lends weight to these projections, simulating the season 100,000 times while factoring in current and historical results, fixture difficulty, expected goals data, and even financial metrics and player valuations from Transfermarkt, providing a nuanced assessment of squad depth and sustainability, areas where Arsenal have quietly improved year on year. And while numbers alone do not win titles, they reinforce the sense that Arsenal's trajectory is upward and increasingly resilient, even if performances like the one against Wolves expose areas that still demand improvement, particularly in game management and defensive concentration. But perhaps the most intriguing subplot remains the evolving dynamic between Trossard and Gyokeres, because if Arteta can harness that chemistry consistently, Arsenal may yet unlock a new dimension to their attack, easing the burden on others and converting dominance into goals with greater regularity. And as Arteta himself stressed, the sample size is still small, patience is required, and the real test lies not in a handful of matches but in how players respond across the next 100. Yet with AFCON disruptions avoided, a squad learning to win ugly, and statistical models pointing towards silverware, Arsenal's message to the rest of the league is becoming increasingly clear that this is no longer a team learning how to compete, but one learning how to finish the job. And as always here at Gunners Central, we'll be there every step of the way. So make sure you subscribe, stay locked in, and prepare for what could be a season that finally brings the Premier League trophy back to North London.